Hey, welcome. Happy Sunday. I've been traveling so much, it's hard to even remember what day it is. I had a great question yesterday, and I thought it would be an opportunity to let other people know the answer. The question was someone's buying a new bike. They're curious, how do they know what size bike they should get? And this person happens to be smaller. So one of the bikes that was recommended to them had 650 wheels, and they were curious, what's the difference between 650 wheels and 700s. It's funny, I remember when 650 wheels finally came out, way back in the early 2000s, late 90s. Everybody jumped on that bandwagon, and so those aren't thrown around as much anymore, but I thought I'll make a quick comment. First, if you're buying a new bike, so whether most of the time people will be changing from one bike brand to the next, the best measurements to take, I always take the center of the bottom bracket, which is where the crank goes through the frame. On the non-drive side, there's usually a bolt there, and I usually kind of estimate the center of that bolt. And then you want to go up along your seat post to the center of the top of your saddle. So that's going to give you the best seat height I have found. From there, you want to take the tip of your saddle, and then I always go to the back of my elbow pads, because those are two fixed amounts. And then in terms of stack height, that's another thing that a lot of people don't think about. The stack height is your ability to get high or low enough in the front. You want to go from your skewer, because that's a fixed point as well, to your elbow pads. So those are three simple measurements that'll help you get to make sure that whatever bike you're looking at is something that will work for you. And so you want to also know how much that new bike can be adjusted for what it is you want to try to accomplish. 650 wheels versus 700s. Okay, so 650 wheels are in general smaller. Obviously not in general, they are smaller, but they used to be more popular. They're not as much anymore. The knock on them, or what people tend to think, is that they take more effort to keep up to speed because it is a smaller circle. That's not so much very true, I would say. Once it's up to speed, the rotational situation of that 650 wheel is going to be probably just as good as a 700. If you're talking about getting into a 650 wheel, I would really use your fit as the best thing for you. If you have trouble descending and cornering and you're a smaller person, dropping down to a 650 wheel will definitely help that, because again, it is a smaller wheel. It'll give you a little bit more control. But don't worry about if you're going to have to accelerate more or to keep it to speed or anything like that. I don't think it's, my understanding is that's really not going to matter. The most important thing is just getting the fit. And if there was a small difference, you're going to make it up in aerodynamics, because you're going to be closer to the ground, less surface area. So really don't worry about that. The other thing is, if you're thinking about going to 650 wheels, that probably means that you're a smaller person. So the other thing that I would have you think about is your crank length. So the crank length used to be people would be like, oh, I want to get these really long cranks because they're going to give me more torque or more leverage over the gears. The gears are a pulley situation, so it really doesn't matter how long the crank is. It's funny because everybody gets 172.5 cranks in general, and whether you're Jan Frodeno or whether you're 5'3", a lot of times they'll throw 172.5s on there. And it's just because the manufacturers need to keep costs low, and so they have to pick a size. So whatever size comes on your bike doesn't necessarily mean that it's best for you. The only thing that you want to think about is you want to make sure your pedals are further out than your chainring. So as long as that's the situation, it doesn't matter how far out it is. So you can just make sure that you're fit right on it and you're in a good spot that you can hold. And those are the most important things to think about when you're picking out your bike or your bike wheels. Another little hack: if you do have 650 wheels and you're on a group ride and you get a flat, you can use a 700 tube and a 650 wheel. Just fold it over itself about an inch and you're fine. If for some reason you're out with a bunch of people with 650 wheels and you have a 700 and you need a tire, you can stretch a 650 wheel around a 700 rim and make it home just fine. So those are my little secret tips, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their day. Bye.